grateful to see this many people out here again to fight for Black lives and Black liberation. But even though we have this many people here right now, we have to remind ourselves the CSA is not enough. Freedom will never be achieved through legislation or gradual reform. We cannot keep appealing to the state through politicians, non-profits, or the courts. The only way to combat police power is to organize forms of mass community self-defense. We need to move beyond momentary mobilizations of performative militancy and shift into ongoing organizing against the power of police within our neighborhoods, our schools, and our workplaces. The ideas of police accountability and police community relations are a myth. It's fucking bullshit. Police cannot be held accountable because policing occurs beyond the bounds of the law. Although their legitimacy was first granted to them by the state, they have become a self-governing power unto themselves. This means that regardless of the strength of internal affairs departments or external review agencies, police officers will be able to still circumvent the law and undermine even the most well-written policies. The reason for this is because police officers, with the backing legitimacy of the department and the state, have the power to record their own truth, and that automatically outweighs that of victims. Let us not forget what our movement mothers taught us. Ida B. Wells wrote about the lynchings in early 1900s and said, "Those who commit the murders write the reports." The phrase police community relations is a code word for public relations. Hiring more black cops won't do anything to alleviate or eliminate the problem at hand, nor will designating community liaisons at all address the situation. Implicit anti-black racism cuts across race, so it doesn't matter if the cop is white, black, Latino, or Asian. We're all infected by the anti-blackness that governs this world. Let us remember, half of the officers that killed Freddie Gray were black, and they too were let off by the courts. If we reach back just about 15 years ago, here in Providence, the Providence police, these fucking pigs, they killed a black police officer, Cornell Young, who was not in uniform. The badge won't protect you, nor will it protect any of us.
No, not at all.
The problem shouldn't be seen as one with the use of excessive force. The problem should be the use of force altogether. The longer we spend our energy trying to convince politicians to pass legislation and do things on our behalf, the less energy we spend building power on our own terms as poor, working class, racialized people. More often than not, reforms are weaponized against the populations they were initially intended to help. Let's remember that reform creates a deadlier machine. Many people will say that we can do both and advocate for an inside-outside strategy with the state. But what this ignores is that the chambers of legislation and the courts are the terrain of the enemy, the rich and the white. The state is not a neutral force. It has a class bias that favors property owners and the rich by default. This means that even with the most well-written laws, the interest of the rich will always override that of the rest of us.
Fuck that 1%.
Fuck that 1%. Our goal should be to disempower, disarm, and disband the police altogether. We must organize against police power in our schools in our neighborhoods and workplaces. Policing occurs beyond the bounds of the law, and let's never forget that. So our means to fight back also should consider moving beyond the law. The prison and the police cannot be reformed or negotiated with. They must be abolished altogether. Beyond the CSA's language of reform that legitimizes the power of police and the state, we propose that the movement against police violence adopt the principles of disempowering, disarming, and disbanding the police in order to establish no cop zones in our schools, in our neighborhoods, and in our workplaces. And in place of the police, we also have to simultaneously take care of one another. And there are already organizations that are taking the steps to do this. There's a community defense project of the Providence Youth Student Movement, and there's also the General Defense Committee of the Providence IWW. So let us remember and let us not be fooled by reforms. We need to disempower, disarm, and disband and abolish the police altogether.